Hello everyone, I'm Caroline. Welcome to Lincoln Washington Goated. Today I will talking about my top 10 greatest US presidents. John Fitzgerald Kennedy and the dictator Roosevelt are disqualified on top 10 greatest. The reason: John Fitzgerald Kennedy, ranked at 13th, because of Bay of Pigs, terrible person but great president. The dictator Roosevelt, I think ranked him lower. He is my 23rd best. Japanese immigrant camps, the middle of my ranking, below H.W. Bush, Jackson, Nixon and McKinley, also below John Adams. He is a literal dictator. Sorry about Donald John Trump ranked too high. If you disagree about Trump and Obama, it's okay. James Knox Polk ranked too high because of Michael Eisenberg's favorite US president. He is underrated. So, let's get started. 10. The billionaire Trump. Score: 750 out of 1,000. First US president became the billionaire. I ranked him higher if he did not running for second term. Despite his 2 impeachments, he is the good person as well. Before his presidency, his first term was super great. Donald Trump ranks high for delivering massive tax cuts, securing historic Middle East peace accords, and reshaping federal courts with conservative judges. His first term from 2017 to 2021 saw booming economic growth and border security focus. Returning to office for a second term in 2025, he aggressively pursued deregulation and tariff policies. Supporters praise his America First agenda for confronting China, fighting illegal immigration, and challenging political establishments. While critics condemn his divisive rhetoric and handling of crises, his loyal base and tangible policy outcomes place him among the top 10 most consequential leaders in modern presidential history. 9. Dwight David Eisenhower. Score: 765 out of 1,000. World War I and World War II hero general. Dwight David Eisenhower deserves his spot as a top leader because he kept the nation at peace, built the interstate highways, and grew the economy. He ended the Korean War, used troops to enforce school integration, and balanced the federal budget. His calm crisis management during the Cold War and warning about the military-industrial complex show rare wisdom. By avoiding major new conflicts while maintaining global strength, Dwight David Eisenhower provided steady and wise leadership that secures his legacy among the greats. He created NASA. 8. The dictator Obama. Score: 777 out of 1,000. My birth US president. Despite legalized gay marriage, drone strikes Yemen. He is controversial but I like him as well. Will you call him the dictator Obama? In my opinion, former President the dictator Obama ranks as the 8th best US president because he steered the nation through the severe Great Recession, rescued the auto industry, and passed the historic Affordable Care Act which insured millions. He also authorized the raid that eliminated Osama bin Laden and maintained a largely scandal-free administration. However, his legacy includes negative aspects like polarizing healthcare rollouts, an escalation of controversial drone strikes overseas, and struggles with congressional gridlock that left major immigration promises unfulfilled. Despite these real policy failures and criticisms regarding foreign interventions, his steady crisis leadership and personal integrity secure his high historical standing. 7. Ronald Wilson Reagan. Score: 789 out of 1,000. The famous Hollywood actor. In my opinion, Ronald Wilson Reagan deserves the 7th spot among US presidents because he revived the American economy, restored national confidence during a time of heavy doubt, and used strong foreign policy to help end the Cold War. He brought a fresh, hopeful voice to the country, turned high inflation around, and inspired millions with his clear vision. Even though his big tax cuts and government spending choices led to a much higher national debt and caused sharp debates that last to this day, his huge impact on modern politics, strong leadership skills, and ability to make people feel proud of their nation secured his high place in history. Reaganomics are good, but he tripled national debt. 6. Theodore Roosevelt Jr. Score: 797 out of 1,000. Most US presidents survived the assassination attempt in 1912. In my opinion, Theodore Roosevelt Jr. deserves to be ranked as the 6th best US president because his bold progressive reforms, passionate conservation of public lands, and dynamic foreign policy permanently modernized the nation and strengthened the executive branch for the 20th century. Theodore Roosevelt Jr. radically changed the role of the federal government by aggressively breaking up harmful corporate monopolies and protecting consumers through landmark regulatory acts. His unmatched dedication to environmental conservation preserved millions of acres of breathtaking wilderness, national forests, and wildlife refuges for future generations. On the global stage, his vigorous diplomacy and initiation of the Panama Canal projected American strength responsibly and secured international stability. While traditional historians often place him slightly higher, viewing his exuberant leadership and lasting domestic legacy from a modern perspective solidly cements his status as a top-tier visionary leader and one of the finest chief executives in American history. 5. James Knox Polk. Score: 815 out of 1,000. Despite of shortest retirement, he did all mission in his one-term presidency. James K. Polk deserves a top 5 spot because he set 4 massive goals: acquiring California and Oregon, lowering tariffs, and setting up an independent treasury, and achieved every single one in a single term. He fulfilled the vision of Manifest Destiny by expanding the nation from sea to sea. Unlike many politicians, he kept his promise to step down voluntarily, proving he cared more about duty than holding on to power. His unmatched focus, discipline, and efficiency make him one of the most effective and greatest leaders in American history. 4. Harry S. Truman. Score: 840 out of 1,000. Cold War started during his presidency, but he didn't start it, ended World War II as well after Franklin Delano Roosevelt. President Harry S. Truman deserves a top-tier spot like fourth best because he made brutally tough choices that shaped the modern world. He ended World War II, launched the Marshall Plan to rescue Europe, and stood up to Soviet aggression by creating NATO. At home, he bravely integrated the military and defended the social safety net. His unmatched personal integrity, famous accountability under the motto, "The buck stops here," and fearless leadership during chaotic global crises prove his greatness. He bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki to end World War II. 3. Thomas Jefferson. Score: 850 out of 1,000. Author of the Declaration of the Independence of the United States, Thomas Jefferson deserves to rank as the third best U.S. president because he fundamentally transformed the young nation through visionary leadership. By executing the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, Thomas Jefferson doubled the size of the United States and secured vital trade routes without a costly war. He also championed individual liberties, drastically reduced the national debt, and commissioned the Lewis and Clark expedition to chart the American West. Although his complex legacy includes the profound contradiction of slave ownership, his bold territorial expansion, commitment to agrarian republican ideals, and strict defense of religious freedom cement his status as an extraordinary and transformational leader in early American history. 2. Abraham Lincoln. Score: 875 out of 1,000. Tallest U.S. president in the U.S. history, Abraham Lincoln is often seen as our second greatest leader because he saved the Union during the bitter Civil War. He signed the Emancipation Proclamation to free enslaved people. He also guided a broken nation with deep wisdom and unmatched moral strength. His bold choices reshaped American freedom forever. Many rank him just behind George Washington. Some people might place him first instead. He healed a fractured country through pure grace. His tragic death left a permanent mark on history. His powerful words at Gettysburg still inspire millions today. He remains a towering hero of democracy. Now I am revealing my greatest U.S. president. 1. George Washington. Score: 895 out of 1,000. First U.S. president, founding father of the United States. George Washington is the greatest United States president because he led the Continental Army to win independence and refused absolute power. He voluntarily stepped down after 2 terms, setting a vital democratic standard. As the first president, George Washington shaped the executive branch, united a fragile nation, and kept America neutral in foreign wars. George Washington valued national unity over personal ambition. George Washington showed unmatched civic virtue. George Washington proved that a republic could survive without a king. George Washington laid the solid foundation for American democracy. George Washington remains a timeless symbol of true selfless leadership. No one dared him to beat him in both elections in 1788 and 1792. A conclusion on the top 10 U.S. presidents centers on leaders who saved the nation in crisis, built lasting institutions, or expanded freedom. While individual opinions vary, a synthesis of personal rankings and historical data usually places transformative figures like Abraham Lincoln and George Washington at the very top. I will release someone's opinion between mine versus David's ranking US presidents if I wanted. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Bye.